You are about to listen to the EST of podcasting. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Mod Squad. Layeth the squad down. I am your host, Kevin. Joining me as always is Steve.
Hey everybody, what's going on? How we doing?
We are doing good. We had a decent week of wrestling this week. I'm gonna just jump right into it here with Raw. Raw opened in chaos as the Bloodline was already at ringside, attacking members of the production crew and destroying the ringside area. Jimmy Uso grabbed a headset and said they were taking over Monday Night Raw. Then KO came out onto the stage and had a conversation with Sami Zayn on the mic about why the Bloodline was staging a hostile takeover. Adam Pearce stopped KO from getting in the ring. He told the Bloodline to leave peacefully. Then Solo attacked every member of security who rushed the ring. Owens ran into the ring but was immediately overwhelmed. The locker room emptied with superstars coming to attack the Bloodline.
The Bloodline ran.
Yep. The Raw roster forced them to retreat into the crowd, but Pearce told them since they came to work, they would be having matches on the show tonight. That was a lot. It was a good open to the show, though. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the open. Then we had Bianca Belair versus Alexa Bliss for the Raw Women's title. Bianca Belair wins by DQ because Alexa just went freaking batshit crazy.
Got a bloody nose and everything.
Yeah, she actually split Bianca on her lip. When I first saw it, I'm like, that's a blood packet. And then a couple days later, I see like pictures of Bianca stitched up. I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'm stupid. So then we have Elias versus Solo Sikoa in a Nashville.
It's
a street fight.
Let's go ahead and just pull out every instrument known to man, and we're gonna like power bomb Elias through a piano.
Yeah, Solo wins. There's nothing special about this match. It was your normal musical instrument match. Although there was one point when Elias took the tambourine and hit Solo with it, with the edge of it, and I'm like, oh, that actually looked like it hurt.
Probably.
Yeah. Then the Usos and Sami Zayn versus the Street Profits and KO. Sikoa showed up to give his allies an unfair advantage that eventually led to Zayn scoring the win with a hell of a kick on Ford. Bloodline wins. The Brawling Brutes and Drew McIntyre showed up to take out the Bloodline and end the segment. That's basically it.
Yeah.
Then we had Dexter Lumis versus Chad Gable. Dexter Lumis wins. I have nothing else to add to this.
That was not televised.
For good reason. It was a filler match. It was
Jonah on? Jonah? Sorry, Bronson Reed.
No, I didn't watch it. I was in my phone honestly through most of this match because it was boring. Yeah. Then we had Becky Lynch and Mia Yim, or
they're naming her name to like Kimchi or some shit like that.
Yeah, Kimchi. Meechin or something like that means like crazy in
It's
Chinese.
Crazy Rabbit and whatever. And,
yeah. But it's Becky Lynch and Mia Kim versus Dakota Kai and Io Sky. Damage Control wins. Yeah. Damage Control wins. Again, this was started out as a handicap match. Becky Lynch and versus Dakota Kai and Io Sky. And then Mia Yim came out halfway through the match, and then she ends up eating the pin. So,
and there you go.
Yeah. Then we had the main event of the night: Austin Theory versus Seth Rollins for the U.S. title. Austin Theory gets a low blow finish win. This was a really good match. It deserved to be in the main event. It was my match of the night. So
it was a real good one.
It was real good.
And then we had Friday Night SmackDown.
We did have Friday Night SmackDown,
which started very similarly to the way we started Monday Night Raw.
It did. So I'm wondering if they're going to continue this trend. It reminds me of like Nexus when Nexus first started showing up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
except no one got choked with their own tie.
very true. But Roman Reigns appears shaken at the top of the Friday show after taking to the squared circle alongside his bloodline teammates. Reigns turned the floor over to Sami Zayn, giving the honorary Uso the opportunity to speak. He responded, questioning why Zayn would do something like guaranteeing a victory last week against John Cena and KO, then failed to deliver.
I'm the one that calls the shots. I'm the
Yeah.
tribal chief. I'm the one that calls it, and I'm the one that guarantees and pulls through.
Are you trying to be the tribal chief?
Do you want to run the bloodline?
Yeah. He berated Zayn.
I really love what they do later in the show with that. We're gonna get into it, but I
Oh,
really
we
love
will. Yeah, he berated Zayn before Owens interrupted and laid down a challenge for an undisputed WWE Universal Championship match at Royal Rumble. Reigns agrees but stared daggers through Zayn to close the segment. This was, like I said, it was really good. I'm beginning to think almost everything with the bloodline that is really good. These guys are not only talented in the ring, but they are great actors. So it's
it's a lot of fun.
It really is. Kofi Kingston versus Santos Escobar. Escobar defeats Kingston with a distraction finish. I like the fact that they're pushing Santos Escobar. It's like the
100%.
newer generation of like he is Kofi, I should say. He is Kofi from 15 years ago. You know what I mean? It's
Kofi was never really a heel, though. I think Kofi has always been a face.
He's
when New Day started, they kind of went for a heel thing, but it was like it's like DX in '97. They're heels, but the fans are cheering them, so they're technically faces. But I just never remember Kofi being a heel.
Yeah, but I'm saying like as far as quality of workmanship. Yeah, quality of.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Now I get what you're saying.
Yeah. Then we have Madcap Moss and Emma versus Karrion Kross and Scarlett. Kross and Scarlett defeat Moss and Emma. Then they put a Mysterio mask on Madcap and say that they're coming for Mysterio. TikTok.
Why we've seen Ray. Why they had such a good thing with Kross going for like a bigger picture and with like against Roman, and now he's mid.
Yeah, that's all.
I know you're not a big Kross.
Listen.
I know you're not a big Kross fan. I know you don't like him there. But I feel that they're giving Braun Strowman a bigger chance than they should Karrion Kross, and Karrion Kross is the more talented of the two wrestlers.
Which isn't saying much.
Which isn't saying
much. No,
it's
not saying much at all.
But that's because I don't think that Braun Strowman is a great wrestler or a good wrestler, and I actually really enjoy Karrion Kross in the ring.
I will say this: this was the first time we got to see Scarlett wrestle on SmackDown. I think ever, and she looked decent. You know, she looked decent. She's not like Charlotte, who's coming up.
I was about to say she's not Charlotte.
Yeah, she's not Charlotte. Which, speaking of Charlotte, that is the next segment. Charlotte has a promo after a promo that included a promise to never become complacent. The Queen
and then
was
she gets interrupted by Daddy. Sorry, I know you're about to talk about Daddy.
Yeah, Sonya Deville. She gets interrupted by Sonya Deville. A brief exchange gave way to, you guessed it, an impromptu match with the title on the line.
Oh my goodness, I wonder who wins.
Flair.
Woo!
I do love me some Sonya Deville. I think I don't think she's placed as high as she needs to be on the card.
Sure. I agree with you. I'm a big Sonya Deville fan. So
I do, yeah. Then we have a Royal Rumble qualifying match: Ricochet versus Top Dollar.
Top Dollar.
Yeah, Despite physical dominance early, Top Dollar fell to the shooting star press as Ricochet cashed his ticket to the Royal Rumble. A post-match beatdown by the suddenly heel Hit Road gave way to a save from, you guessed it, Braun Strowman.
Wait, suddenly heel? What, haven't they been heel since they got there?
No, I think they turned heel last week, basically.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, they were heel in NXT, so I assume that
Yeah.
But yeah, and then they ran from Braun Strowman.
Yeah. Then we had the main event of the night, Drew McIntyre and Sheamus versus the Usos for the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championship. McIntyre and Sheamus controlled the Usos late in the match, appearing to have the championship reeling. Late interference from Solo took McIntyre out of action, forcing the Celtic Warrior to go it alone in the final moments of the match.
The Celtic Warrior?
The Celtic Warrior. Yeah.
Does he play basketball? Is Larry Bird his tag partner?
Listen, I said it, and I'm like, I'm not going to be able to get through this without Steve calling me out.
I'm just going to keep going right I'm going to barrel through and hope he doesn't say anything.
Yep. Ultimately, despite a valiant effort, Jey Uso rolled him up to score the win and retain the titles. Usos win.
Ultimately, despite a valiant effort, Kevin did not get away with saying the Celtic Warrior.
I tried, everybody.
You really just go.
If I don't mention it, it never happened. You know.
It's ostrich head syndrome. You just stick your head in the sand and you don't see it at all.
I actually really enjoyed this match again, the main event. My match of the night. My match of the night. I've always enjoyed Sheamus and McIntyre, either if they're wrestling each other or if they're tagging against somebody, because it's going to be a hard-hitting match. It's going to be, just straight, almost a brawl.
Sure, 100%.
And I love
they're both brawlers.
Yeah,
it's fight night.
I love that. So I enjoyed that match. How about some AEWs?
Oh, bro, we got AEW on Wednesday night. We had Wednesday Night Dynamite. We started the whole show. Chris Jericho versus Ricky Starks. And I think they're going a full gimmick with Jericho now because Jericho lost. Ricky Starks picks up the win in the opening match. We get, after that, the Acclaimed versus Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal, in which, I'm not going to lie, I loved the first ending to the match, in which they win the belts.
Yeah.
And then Aubrey Edwards has to interject her horrible self into the picture, notifying that it was an illegal pin and that the foot was pushed off. And they restart the match, and the Acclaim reclaims the tag titles. I would really like to see the tag belts on Jarrett and Lethal. I think that they are an amazing tag team. Everybody may love the Acclaimed, but I love Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal more. We get Bryan Danielson versus Tony Nese, of course, in which Danielson wins. He wins rather quickly and says that he wants another match, and he calls out MJF. And he calls him out for a match of his choosing, and he basically says, you can give me any match you want, Brian. I'm going to beat you no matter what you do. And Brian looks at him, and I called the match before he even said it. He goes, I'm going to give you a match that you can't cheat. You can't steal a win. You have to fight the entire time, and that is a 60-minute Iron Man match.
I love it.
Because MJF told Danielson, you can call them, you can pick the match yourself. We then got Swerve.
But coming out. Danielson has to win. Danielson has to win every match until February 8th.
Up until February
8th.
Yeah. We get Swerve versus AR Fox, in which AR Fox put up a very good effort and really kept fighting back. Swerve, of course, did win. We get Sky Blue and Kiera Hogan against Jade and Red Velvet.
Mm-hmm.
Jade picks up the win, but she picks up the win after Red Velvet essentially turns her back on her and leaves the group.
I like that they're actually interjecting a little bit more of a storyline with Jade. I don't know what happened with the whole little Bow Wow thing because that hasn't been mentioned in a couple of weeks.
And I think that's pretty much fizzled out. Probably whatever they wanted to do is probably done with.
Yeah.
I think it's very interesting breaking up the baddies. I think that this can only lead to Jade Cargill's eventual losing of the belt. But I don't see anybody that's going to be able to step up and do it. I'm not gonna lie. We just had New Japan's Kingdom
Wrestle Kingdom.
Wrestle
Yeah.
Kingdom over the weekend, in which I really could give two shits less. But Mercedes Monet,
Mm,
formerly known as Sasha Banks, made her Wrestle Kingdom debut. There is possible talks
mm-hmm.
about Sasha Banks coming over to AEW. If she does, I think that she would be the person to beat Jade, and I think that is a horrible idea.
I still to this day believe that they are keeping things under wrap and she is going to be an entrant in the Royal Rumble.
I really, and you know what? They could, because there are 100% contracts right now between New Japan and WWE. Carl
Mm-hmm.
Anderson made an appearance as the never open heavyweight champion. I would love to see a New Japan crossover into the Rumble. I'd love to see some Bullet Club. I'd love to see Jay White. I would love to see Jay White as Bullet Club New Japan in a WWE ring.
It could happen,
I
especially since they've mentioned by name Bullet Club now in WWE.
in
So
WWE. I won't lie, when it all comes down to it, I really could care less. I am not a Sasha Banks fan. I was a Sasha fan when she got into NXT. I was a little bit of a Sasha fan once she got moved on up. And then you can only deal with so much before ego gets in the
yeah,
way. And Sasha is a very egotistical person. She's also not for the fans at all. And you can tell that just by Googling Sasha Banks photos with fans at conventions. She's as bad as Avril Lavigne.
mm,
With that, though, we do get into our main event, which I absolutely hate. Darby Allin versus Samoa Joe for the TNT Championship, in which Darby Allin somehow beats Samoa Joe.
yeah, this would never happen in real life ever.
Ever.
Uh,
And that's all I'm gonna say about that.
yeah, yeah,
Because
we'll just leave that there.
my mama taught me, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. Which is why I think they have Darby never cut promos. On that note, we do get to Rampage, Friday Night Rampage. Friday Night Rampage opens up with Jon Moxley and Bryan Danielson going up against the Martin Brothers. We get Danielson getting the pin on that. It was a good opening match. The Dante brothers, the Martin brothers, always put on a good match. They're high flyers. They're very
Mm-hmm.
entertaining. Jon Moxley and Danielson are very intense and very talented as well. So it's always good to see a good bout like that.
Yeah,
We got a
very different styles
Yeah,
there.
that mesh very well.
Yeah,
The next match, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't even watch because it was Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter, and that's not why I didn't watch it. They were going up against the Renegade Sisters, so I was like, I know who's gonna win this one.
yeah.
Um, Preston Vance makes his debuts in singles, not being part of the Dark Order anymore, going up against a wrestler named Sonico. Preston Vance dispenses of him very quickly. Sonico is a luchador in which Preston proceeds to rip the mask completely off of the wrestler, causing him to hide his face, holding it up in the air.
So he's a
Uh,
heel.
he is a heel. We then get our main event, which I'm not going to lie, I also did not watch. It was Darby Allin defending the TNT Championship against Mike Bennett of the Kingdom. I am a big Mike Bennett fan, but I've already stated on how I feel about Darby Allin, so I don't bother to watch him wrestle. Allin picks up the win over Mike Bennett. I do have to say, I might have mentioned this on the last episode. But the wrestling world recently lost a professional wrestler on the independent scene. His name was Jason Strife. He was a very young, talented man. He was in his 30s, if not late 20s. And Mike Bennett came out in the main event on AEW with his raps saying Team Strife. So
cool.
that man made such an impact on the wrestling scene that you have names like Mike Bennett of Impact Wrestling and AEW giving his love to such a talented wrestler, someone that we lost far too soon and someone that we lost far too young. You can look it up. It's Jason, Jaysin, I believe, Strife, Stryfe. I apologize if I spelt that wrong, but Jason Strife. He was an extremely talented young wrestler, and as I stated, we lost him far too soon. But that was our main event with Alan walking away, beating Bennett, which I also don't think would ever actually happen because Mike Bennett's a bad motherfucker.
Right. So do you actually have a match of the week? Putting you on the spot with this, I know, because it's not something that we normally do, but it's something I want to start doing. So
yeah, absolutely. So of all the matches, I'm going to give it to Swerve and AR Fox. It was a really good back and forth. AR Fox definitely proves himself as a singles wrestler, even being in a 6-man tag or a 3-man tag. Coming in a close second was Acclaimed versus Jared and Lethal. Other than that, I would have to give it to Swerve and AR Fox.
You know what, man? I got to give it there too. I got to go there too. WWE had some good ones with the Usos and stuff like that, but that AR Fox and Swerve match, they did some things.
AR Fox just really brought it.
Yeah, and he took some major bumps on the edge of the ramp, on the edge of the ring, I should say. So it was really cool.
He took a licking and kept on ticking.
Yes,
until the end. And when she
those are our matches of the week. Go check those out if you haven't seen anything else. I do believe that does it for this episode of Layeth the Squad Down. Steve, where can people find you in your podcasts?
Oh, that's the last podcast you'd want. You can also find me on Back to the Retro Review with this guy over here, where we're with Mikey the Freakin' Bebo sometimes, talking about movies from the 80s and 90s. We got some great ones coming up. I don't even know what they are, but they're going to be fun. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Steve. That's Kevin. This has been Layeth the Squad Down. Tip the veal, try the staff. Thank you all for coming. And if you didn't, better luck next time.
That is correct. If you are watching on YouTube, please check us out on most major podcasting platforms. Again, give us a good old thumbing. If you are listening on most major podcasting platforms, check us out on YouTube.
And give us a
good old thumbing. Hit that like, subscribe, do all the YouTuber things. All right, guys. That does it for this episode of Layeth the Squad Down. So for Steve, I am Kevin saying, keep on wrestling, everybody.
And you can't teach that.